To introduce the co-chairs of the prize jury, we've invited another of our steadfast supporters to join us from the Lumina Foundation. Sam Cargile is a vice president with the Lumina Foundation, and he has a long and distinguished career in higher education administration and philanthropy. Many of you know Sam for the last dozen years. He's been with Lumina right from the inception. I was with a foundation that started at the same time, and Sam was there at the inception. And he's been one of the chief architects of many of their community college and equity programs. He's really made an important contribution to efforts to move from a culture that celebrated access to one that recognizes the importance of continuing access, but also to moving to a culture of success and helping Lumina lead our country in that direction. Sam, would you join us on the stage? Thanks.
It's so good not to be stuck in Newark. Well, thank you, Josh, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today for the announcement of the Aspen Prize. But like you, I don't know the winner either. Josh asked me last week when we spoke, did I want to know, and I respectfully declined. But what I would like to do is to follow on Josh's comments, is to really extend my congratulations now to the 10 finalists. I think they all are shining examples of what more community colleges must do so that many more of the 7 million students seeking a degree or a certificate from their institutions do in fact succeed. I also want to thank Elliot and Josh and all of their colleagues at the Aspen Institute for their vision in creating the prize and their amazing, remarkable leadership in implementing what has quickly become one of the nation's premier awards for community colleges. Now, before I introduce our two co-chairs for the prize jury, and they do in fact know the winners, I want to take just a moment to comment on why this award is especially important to us at Lumina. As I think many of you know, last month we released our strategic plan for 2013 through 2016. And as in the previous plan, the North Star remains Goal 2025, which simply states that 60% of all Americans will hold a high quality, and I emphasize high quality, post-secondary degree or credential by 2025. And after several years of intense engagement in this work, some of which has involved many of you in this room, as was mentioned earlier, we are absolutely dead certain convinced that the 60% goal is in fact achievable, and that the primary pathway is through community colleges. And as today's finalists have demonstrated, this means that many more community colleges must use data to figure out which students are succeeding and which are not, and then take work to close those achievement gaps the data reveal. They must innovate at scale. We know a lot about small-scale boutique programs, but if we're going to get to that number, we're really talking about doing work at scale. And then they must really, really focus on, and this is a direction we're going in 2025 with Goal 2025, is competency-based degrees. And to do that efficiently and effectively so that students, employers, and taxpayers are getting high quality at a fair price. And finally, there is one unavoidable truth. We can no longer afford to be distracted from the work at hand, which is going to be challenging enough, by false arguments that we must choose between equity and excellence. To to reach Goal 2025. There are massive gaps in educational achievement in this country, and they're linked to race and class. They have been persistent and pernicious inequities, and they have plagued us for decades, and that we simply cannot any longer allow that to continue. The stakes are just too high, not merely for those people who are directly affected by those inequities, but for every employer who needs skilled workers, for every citizen who stands to benefit from the economic and social progress that education brings. In short, for all of us as a nation. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce the co-chairs of the prize jury, who will announce the prize winners. Richard Riley is a senior partner at Nelson, Mullins, Riley, and Scarborough. He served as governor of South Carolina from 1997 to 87. After that, as Secretary of Education under President Clinton, he helped launch initiatives to raise academic standards, improve instruction for the poor and disadvantaged, and expand grants and loans to help many more students attend college. Secretary Riley was named one of the top 10 cabinet members of the 20th century by Time magazine and was awarded the Harry S. Truman Award by AACC for his positive impact on community colleges. John Engler is president of the Business Roundtable, an association of chief executive officers of leading U.S. corporations with a combined workforce of nearly 16 million and more than 7 trillion in annual revenues. He also served for 6 years as the president and CEO of the National Association of Manufacturers. A former 3-term governor of Michigan, Governor Engler has been heavily engaged throughout his career in education and workforce issues, focused on resolving the pressing shortages of skilled employees as a growing threat to Americans' competitiveness in a knowledge-based economy. Both Secretary Riley and Governor Engler understand that community colleges are a linchpin to improving opportunity and economic growth in our country. Please join me in welcoming to the stage Secretary Richard Riley and Governor John Engler.